Hello, I'm Pastor Nathan Wood of North Dayton Baptist Church. Welcome to day 84 of the McShane Reading Plan. We're in Exodus 36, John 15, Proverbs 12, and Ephesians chapter 5. In Exodus 36, Aholiab and Bezaleel have been teaching the men who have come to learn their craft to build the tabernacle and the furnishings thereof. And they give a detailed description of all the things that are being made and how it is being made up. It also says that the children of Israel have been more than generous in their giving for the temple or the tabernacle's furnishings. So let that be an inspiration for us, especially during this time when churches still need to keep their doors open. We thank you for your financial support. Also notice in Proverbs chapter 12, whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish. In the NASB it says stupid. Folks, if we are bullheaded or brutish or stupid, we don't listen to advice and instruction. We are stern, we are not stern, we are stubborn and bullheaded. Wrath, flying off the handle, this is not good. Notice that a fool's wrath is presently known, but a prudent man covereth shame. He that speaketh truth showeth forth righteousness, but a false witness deceit. That's 16 and 17. There is that speaketh piercings of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is health. We need to be speaking peace. Blessed are the peacemakers in the Sermon on the Mount that Christ gave. We as children of Christ need to be known for our love and our peace, not for our combativeness and our wrath. This is hard for me. I get cut off in traffic, I get mad. Somebody gets mad at me, I get mad. It's in my flesh. So how do I conquer this? How do I conquer the wretchedness? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because in our reading today, John 15, Christ says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. So he chastises us who are his own, and prunes us in order to make us better. When we are his child, when we're in his work, he is going to make sure that we're about his business. He says, now you are clean through the word which I have spoken to you. Remember that. Abide in me and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine, no more can ye except ye abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. Skipping ahead, if you abide in me and my words abide in you, you shall ask what you will and it shall be done unto you. If we want to work the works of God, if we want to live according to the Father's advice in Proverbs, if we want to be Christ-like, we have to abide in him. We're a branch. He is the vine. And a branch laying on the ground is not alive. We have to be in the vine to bear fruit. And notice in the parable of the fig tree, well, not the parable of the fig tree, excuse me, but when Christ curses the fig tree just for having leaves and not having fruit, it's not enough to look like we're about to bear fruit. We have to abide in him so we bear fruit. And that means being in his word, being in prayer. If we are Christians and claim to be Christians and we don't read the Bible, we don't study the Bible, if we don't spend time in prayer, we're not abiding in him. And of course we're going to go run off in the world somewhere and fly off the handle or speak ill of other people or speak in a combative way out of the blue. Yes, we're going to be full of sin because we're letting our sin nature have the best part of us. We are letting the sin nature reign when we do not take Christ's word, the Bible, into our hearts and into our minds and spend time with him in prayer. We have to abide in him because that's how he, verse 3, makes us clean through the word. We are made clean through the Word. We have to abide in the Word. And then it says, if my words abide in you, you shall ask what you will, and it is done unto you. That means that when we are in the vine, we can bear the fruit that he wants us to bear. That's not that we ask of him whatever we want, like he's a genie and he gives it to us because he's giving us a reward for spending time with him. No, the reward is that we become conformed to him, not he to us. The idea is for us to work his will, not for him to work our will. We want to be conformed to him. So we don't want anything that he doesn't want. We don't want to do anything that he doesn't want us to do. Well, that sounds Christ-like, doesn't it? Always remember that the perfection of Christ was not just that he did nothing wrong. It is also that he did not fail to do anything right. Everything that he was supposed to do, he did. Unlike Moses. Unlike anybody who's a human that is not divine. Except for Christ, 100% God and 100% man. We all fall short of that. He not only did nothing wrong, he did everything right. Fascinating. So he is to wash us clean through the Word. That's how we abide in him. So check out the book of Ephesians. Paul is telling us, be followers of God as dear children and walk in love as Christ also hath loved us. If we want to bear the fruit of the Spirit and not the works of the flesh, we have to abide in him. And we are to do that to each other. We're to speak to our each other in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs. Guess what? We're supposed to talk about Jesus and the Bible to each other to edify each other. And the pinnacle of this interpersonal relationship among the brethren is, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. We want to exemplify God's relationship with us. Wives, be respectful and subject to your husbands. Support him, encourage him, lift him up. Our passage in Proverbs tells wives to be honoring to their husbands. Don't put him to shame. Husbands aren't perfect, but certainly public shaming of your husband brings shame upon the whole household. It's important that we edify each other, and especially wives edifying their husbands. But husbands, this is not a sit back and feel haughty and proud, or say, well, yeah, I showed you. No, you have the more sacrificial task in this. Look at this. For the husband is the head of the wife, but therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, let wives be subject to their own husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. What does that mean? Do you love your wife when she's lovable and brush her aside or dislike her when she's not lovable? You don't have the option. You have to love her when she is unlovable. Interesting. Let's move on. And gave himself for it, self-sacrificially, willing to lay down your life, willing to bear punishment, willing to bear all things, as 1 Corinthians 13 says. That's sacrificial. Moving on. How does this happen? I'm not a woman, so I don't know, but wives, I know. Ever since Eve was beguiled by the serpent, your natural inclination is not to respect your husband. Husbands, we're blockheads. Ever since the fall, ever since Adam gave in to Eve, man is not inclined naturally to love his wife when she is unlovable to him. So what's the answer? Husbands, you're to take the lead. Here's the answer. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church. Verse 26, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. Sounds kind of like John, doesn't it? Christ wants us to abide in him. He wants to cleanse us with his word. Same concept. Husbands, you want to have a godly household and you want to inspire your wife to be a godly wife. Read the word together. You don't say, oh, well, yeah, you need to have your own devotion. Yeah, you need to encourage her to have her own devotion, but read the word together. Do not expect her to tell you to read the Bible with her, because that's not what her flesh is going to tell her. She's going to be tempted in all kinds of ways. It's up to you to be the head of the household and read the word together. That's what it means to be a spiritual head of your household. It doesn't mean expect to have everything done for you, handed foot, waited on you like you're some sort of guest at a hotel. No. What it means is you lead the household in reading the word and seeking the face of God and washing the family in the water of the word. That's how you make the most of your marriage. That is how you inspire your wife to honor you. It's by loving her, by reading the word together. Seems so simple, but it's profound. Young people looking to get married. Men, if you're courting a Christian young woman, read the word together. Women, you're looking for a Christian young man, encourage him to read the word with you. Married people, married women, I know what I just told the men was to read the word no matter what, but if you want to encourage your husband to be the best that he can be, and if you want your marriage to flourish, and you want to be transformed in your heart, encourage your husband to read the word together. Inspire him to lead. Men, but it's up to you. The responsibility is on you. That's my word for you today. Let's be washed in the word. It's my prayer that you know him. God bless you all. Have a good evening.